Are you in the market for a new dual monitor arm? Well, before you run out and buy that Ergotron or that cheap one you found on Amazon, you might consider taking a look at this one. This is a K1C220B column desktop dual monitor arm from Chief. Now this thing is expensive, up to $350 or more at places like B&H Photo. It is on Amazon, but it's a little bit harder to find, or you pay shipping. They don't have a lot of reviews. It looks a little bit sketchy. And that's primarily because Chief seems to be a business-to-business company rather than a business-to-consumer selling company. So that was one of the reasons I contacted them about sending me a unit to review. So full disclosure, I didn't pay the $350 for this particular unit, but I told them I would love to review it because it was hard for me to find any good reviews of this product online that wasn't done by the company. First and foremost, one of the most important things I was looking for in a monitor arm is the ability to set my monitor up high enough to clear these large speakers on my desktop, as you can see behind me. Now, in order to do that, I needed my VESA mount to be at least 23 inches off my desktop. And believe it or not, that is a very difficult requirement when you're looking at a monitor arm. In fact, this is one of the very few that I could find that did it. The only alternatives were ones that had humongous columns and you'd have to mount your monitors high up on the column. And the reason this one is able to do that is because it uses this tall lower section of the arm. Now on mine right here you can see that I'm using a lower profile arm here, but over here I'm using the taller one. And what that means is your VESA mount can actually adjust in height between 12.75 inches and 32.75 inches if you factor in the manual height adjustment on the column as well. So there's a 20-inch range where you can actually move your monitor up and down. Now that means, in theory, you could actually use this thing to put your monitor so high, you could make your desk into a standing desk if you just brought your mouse and keyboard up a little bit. That's pretty high up. And one of the cool benefits of that is this allows your monitors to be placed side by side or one over the other. Now, one thing to keep in mind is with something like the Ergotron LX stacking dual monitor arm, the lower monitor is pretty much going to be right on your desk, whereas this one, the lower monitor VESA mount would still be like several inches off your desk, maybe even too high. So yes, you can stack them, but keep in mind that top monitor is going to be pretty high up off your desk. Okay, so let's talk about some of the cool features of this monitor arm, and I'll explain the reason why I thought the $80 over the Ergotron would have been worth it for me. First and foremost, again, the height adjustability is a big factor for me. It was one of the few monitor arms that could do that. Second of all, I really like the flexibility of going side by side to over and under with your monitors, and this allows me to do that. Third, it's got a modular design, which allows me to do what I showed you earlier, which is swap out one of the lower arms for the lower profile arm so that one of your monitors can go even lower. So this particular monitor behind me has a lower adjustment range than the other monitor, but that's fine because this one doesn't need to clear any speakers. And if I want to put this one easily underneath my other one, the lower profile arm allows that to be done quite easily. Now, the lower profile arm is an add-on that would cost you an additional $30 or so. So you're looking at close to $380, which is super pricey. You have to ask yourself, do I need that flexibility? Do I want the ability to move my monitors 32 inches off my desk or 33 inches off my desk? If you don't need that flexibility, then maybe this isn't for you. But build quality wise, this is right there at the top. If you take a look here at the base, you can see this is all metal, and the base unit here that attaches to the bottom of your desk is thick, like a 1/4 inch thick. Not worried about that breaking at all. In fact, it's so heavy duty, I worry about this making little marks on my desk because the rubberized grommets don't go all the way around the bottom portion of this. So you do have to be careful and make sure you have a robust enough desk to support this thing. It also comes with a grommet where you can mount it through the desk as well, so that adds even more flexibility. Something to note that's cool about the base as well is that it holds the Allen keys right here in the base, so you don't need to pull those out of a drawer every time you want to adjust the various adjustments on your monitor stand. And then moving on up, you can see the low profile arm on one side here. And this has a little bit of cable management at the base of it, just kind of like a hook here at the bottom. Whereas the normal arm, like the one I'm holding here, has a little door flap that kind of unclips. And this is one of the things that I don't love about this is a plastic hinge here. So if you open and close this enough, I think you'd probably have a good chance of breaking this hinge off. And it's also just kind of difficult to open. But once it's closed, it's nice and secure, and it's very cool looking. And the upper arms, as you can see here, have this cool sort of hydraulic look. Again, very like iRobot feeling theme here. Now, one thing to consider is that this monitor stand can support up to 50 pounds distributed across these 4 different channels in the tube here. So right now I'm using 2 of the channels for 2 different arms, but you could theoretically fill up the other 2 channels and have a 4-way monitor stand as long as they total up to less than 50 pounds or 25 pounds per monitor max. The Ergotron, on the other hand, only allows you to have a 40-pound max, and adding different arms means you have to slip these over the column completely, so you're going to lose a little bit of height adjustability the more arms you put on your Ergotron. So keep that in mind too. That's one of the cool things about these tracks here in the column. So is this arm for everybody? No, probably not. If you're on a tight budget, obviously $350+ is going to be totally out of your price range. However, if you're looking at Ergotrons and you're thinking of spending $250 to $280 on one of those dual monitor arms anyway, this isn't that much more expensive, and you do get a little bit more flexibility and options. You get the additional weight capacity, you get the extra height adjustment, you get the modularity of switching out the pieces and the ability to hold 4 monitors at the same time without affecting the height adjustment of the other ones. And personally, I think it's cooler looking. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you guys found this review helpful. If you have any questions or comments, leave those below and I'll try and respond to those. And also, don't forget to click that subscribe button. The more people subscribe, the more likely I am to put out more content. So if you enjoy this type of thing, go ahead and click that button down below somewhere. Thanks again for watching, guys. Have a great rest of your day. See you later.